Scott Jennings, who obviously became pretty prominent for his role on CNN, where he yaps his MAGA things, and then he's reportedly considering running for Senate in Kentucky. Kentucky. And so that might be fun. And notoriously bragged about how he owns the liberals on CNN, but...
Because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all.
Right. You do. No, you do. Well, he appeared on Bill Maher's show, and this one clip I thought was good because I feel like there's so much debate that goes on, and there's real nuances, like the discussion of the border and immigration. There's nuances, but certain aspects of them, like is Trump dedicated to the Constitution? And there's clear, unequivocal, black and white arguments, separate from the whole complexities of normal political debates, as to how you prove Trump obviously is not. And yes, that shows up in him violating due process. Obviously, when he literally said, terminate the Constitution, woo, and other stuff. It's just not really one of those complex arguments. It's obviously not. Which is why even practiced defenders of Trump like Scott Jennings, their argument gets broken in half. Boom! With just a few simple points, which Bill Maher makes here, which is why Scott Jennings, for most of the clip, doesn't really have much pushback.
Okay, but that's not what the Constitution says. I mean, our friend Byron Donalds, who has been on the show before this week, said due process is reserved for American citizens. But that is not what the Constitution says.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it should, but that's not what we're talking about. We're saying, what does it say? I mean, if you were the founding fathers and you were writing the Fifth Amendment or the 14th Amendment, because both of them use the word person, they knew the difference between the word person and the word citizen. It says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. That's the Fifth Amendment.
Like, literally, I'll keep playing this, but literally think about the simplicity of destroying. Liberal destroys MAGA, right? Like, you could see it at a YouTube channel. Being able to destroy the argument of someone just by reading the text of the Constitution. That's all he's doing. A person shall be deprived. That's all the argument is. Bill Maher's not doing something magical. He's just reading the Constitution.
14th says, no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, property without due process. So isn't it clear? I mean, you talk about creative means, but creative can just kind of morph right into, we're just going to do whatever I want. And I don't think, as you said, those polling numbers, even among Republicans, I don't think they want to live in a country where a guy just goes, you're a bad dude. You go to torture chamber.
Well, that's not the country they live in. They live in a country where this guy had been to immigration court repeatedly.
But the Venezuelans they're talking about in this case that the Supreme Court is focused on today, Trump wants to send them to El Salvador. They're not from El Salvador.
I mean, Trump was asked, do you have a duty to uphold the Constitution? And his answer was, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Cool. Wait. I'm just asking.
But in the same breath, he said, on this case, we have the best lawyers, and we're going to abide by what the Supreme Court said. I mean, that was what his full statement was. Look.
And then he I'm not going to mention, but which is what Scott Jennings does. Get the clip or the soundbite. This is Scott Jennings owning liberals.
Because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all.
Okay. But the part that you didn't mention, Scott, is that after committing to that, he went on to not follow the Supreme Court ruling. Unbelievable.
These people, these gang members, are not coming here to be productive Americans. They are coming here to rape, pillage, murder, steal, and wreak havoc on communities. The president was elected to fix it. I believe him when he says he's going to abide by Supreme Court decisions, but I don't think most people begrudge him creative ideas when it comes to getting them out when they've been allowed to stay here for so long.
They don't begrudge him a lot of ideas. I don't even begrudge him a lot of ideas like that. I don't want gangs in this country either. Or, was there bloat in the government? Or USA Aid, maybe there was some corruption. It's the way he does it. It's the wrecking ball.
Yeah, so kind of, I just don't think, I love the creative ideas. He has just creative ideas. Like, hey, maybe, thought, maybe people get due process, but maybe not. Creative. It's different. It's unique. That's what I love about Trump. He's creative. Or in other words, unconstitutional. Pretty obvious. I love how they do that. What if by person they meant not person? But they said person though. The funny thing too is that the Second Amendment, right? The right to bear arms, and it not specifying to the extent that some right wingers take it that all arms of any type always and any nuke, like, and they want to even be able to defend that. But there is some ambiguity when you read that, the text of the Second Amendment. Right to bear arms shall not be infringed. But what does that mean in our modern context, right? So there's interpretive stuff, and that's the case with a lot of Constitution. No person shall be deprived, right? And it goes on to, but is pretty clear cut, and they try to get creative with what the word person means, hoping maybe that if they can dehumanize people enough, then that won't even apply in their world. Total unimportant thought that I do just find it important for me to note somehow. The suit on the gentleman next to Scott Jennings, shoo-wee, fits so well. Get me a suit like that, please. It's probably like $1 bazillion, but look at that's a suit, right? He also does have a build that fills it out nicely, right? But that's a suit. And it makes Scott Jennings' suit look like a 6th grader going to graduation in their dad's suit. Scott. Now, tragically, on a different, I have a few miscellaneous things. You want this though, get ready. Life-size Melania Trump statue literally ripped out of perch and stolen in her native Slovenia. And a few thoughts on this. Obviously, don't destroy property. Don't steal statues of people in Slovenia or elsewhere. But I don't want to insult anybody, because I know everyone does art differently, and maybe there's like some historical. But I say this not as an expert. Not as an expert on statues or things of a statue nature or things like or statues. But this is a really bad statue. I feel mean. It's a bad statue. Like, Melania probably is a little insulted by this. Like, does it say it's Melania Trump? Or are you just supposed to assume that it's Melania Trump? Like, imagine if Donald took her to Slovenia and had paid for this and was like, Melania, I did something special for you. Close your eyes. Close them. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, open. To which Melania will respond, what is that? Who is that? It's you, Melania. Did you etch it yourself, Donald? I say that with love. Because some artists did that, and I respect them, and I love them. I do. I love them. But if a Melania statue was going to get stolen, maybe this is the one to be stolen. Okay. No, I'm kidding. Of course, don't steal. That's obvious. Now, some people are saying this is because they disagree with her. Like some American maybe flew there and then took it, and it's like destruction for that purpose. But I have maybe a different proposal. You could also imagine. I just read a story. I think this is the reason that this is on my mind. Of Jennifer Aniston. Is she the one? Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, Jennifer Aniston. She had a creepy stalker who drove his car into her. Did you hear about this? Into her gate, her front gate, proclaiming that he knew they were meant to be together. And that's the way that he was going to be with her. So maybe it's like a psycho who's taking it and now like has tea with the statue of Melania every day and is like, it's like sitting next to him on a bench. And he was like, oh, Melania, you're so crazy. I can't believe you were with Donald so long. I'm so happy we're together. And it's like it's his Melania, I guess. Maybe I don't know if that's better or worse than someone doing it because they hate her. Maybe it's just someone who really loves her. I don't know if is that better. Is it better? I don't know.
I don't even know.
But I'm sorry. And I will forever remember this statue. Share your thoughts in the comments. Get the bonus show by clicking that join button below.